what is up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? Already got comments coming in. Shout out to Josh Smith. Thanks for tuning in again. We've got a great episode for you today about what to expect with a career in real estate. And I want to make this as much of a live Q&A as possible. So send us in your questions in the chat so I can answer you guys' particular questions. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, or maybe you're a more experienced agent and you want to share some things with some of the newbies, put that in the chat. I want to make this episode this Friday all about you guys, our viewers. Stick with us. We've got a great show for you.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome. It is 12 noon on Friday, which means it's time for this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Chrisman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. If you're interested in starting or enhancing your real estate career, make sure you give us a call, send us a text message, check out our website, or watch our live streams. We got a lot of stuff to help people get started in the real estate industry, and that's what we're doing this show about today. We've been getting a lot of questions, and we've always kind of got this question as long as we've been in existence, of what's it like to have a career in real estate. I mean, is it more like a job, or is it like you're running a business? Who are you working for? What does your normal day look like? How many of this do you have to do? How many showings do you have to do? How many open houses do you do? How much do you have to work? All these questions, and that's what we want to try to do today, is help demystify some of this information about what to expect in the real estate industry, whether you just got your license and you're new and you're trying to get your bearings on maybe what things are the best things to do to get a good return on your investment, to make sure you're not just wasting your time and you're actually able to make some money in real estate, because that's kind of an important thing. Any questions it is that you guys have, this is live. Send them in the chat below. I've got the YouTube and the Facebook chat, both of them loaded up right here, so I'll be able to answer your questions. And I really want to make this very much about you guys tuning in and watching the show today, for answering your questions and trying to help you get a better explanation and understanding of what it is that they're watching, because I'm sure there's a lot of other people that have those same questions that you might have. So just to kind of like start this off, kick this off a little bit about what it's overall like. So let's start with the big question. This is one of the ones we get more often than anything, and it's kind of the whole, okay, was this a job, or am I starting my own business? Am I working for somebody? And even when you have your own business, you're always working for somebody, and usually when it's your own business, you're working for your clients. So, and if you're at some sort of company, your boss and your managers and supervisors, they're just middlemen between you and the clients. I know those middlemen might have you fixed in at a certain rate and making you feel boxed in, and that's ultimately what goes on. So the whole kind of career versus a business thing, and they're really not even two different animals, because like I said, the business, you're just going direct to the source, you're just going straight to the client yourself, or maybe you're putting the middlemen in there, as opposed to you being the end result and the client being the other end, and then having your bosses, supervisors, managers, and whatnot kind of in the middle of those there. So that does limit you quite significantly, regardless of what type of career that may be. There's always usually some sort of cap when you have other people standing between you and the clients it is that you're serving. And really any business, anything that exists, they're out to serve and help and make somebody's lives better, or provide some sort of solution to what it is that they're offering. And that's exactly what you're doing in real estate. So to try to give you a better idea of what this is like. And now real estate, it's a little bit different. So the question is like, okay, I see that I have to register with a broker. What does that mean? What does it mean that I have to register with a broker? Am I working for this broker? And a lot of people will call that by the misnomer of saying that you're working for a broker. You're really not working under the broker, at least not tax purpose wise. You're an independent contractor. Now that broker does have final say on a lot of things, but ultimately for what it is that you're putting in to your opportunity, to whatever it is that you want to call it, a career, business, whatever it may be, whatever it is that you're putting in is ultimately what you're going to put out of it. And you're going to have pre-negotiated terms up front with your broker of what kind of arrangement it's going to be, what kind of situation it's going to be, what it is that the broker's going to do, and what it is that they're charging you in exchange for what it is that they're doing. And there's a lot of different brokers out there. There's a lot of different brokers, any of them that really let you, once you kind of know what you're doing, pretty much have free reign over what it is you do as long as you don't do anything illegal. And other brokers that are very kind of much boxing you in and limiting you and saying, okay, this is all you're allowed to do. This is the only things it is that you can do. So you have those variations there. And with a real estate license, so let's say you want to get into real estate. What does that even mean to get into real estate? There's a lot of different fields, a lot of different specialities within the real estate industry, a lot of things you could specialize in. You could just go the traditional route of being a residential real estate agent that's working on behalf of people buying and selling homes for them to live in. That's where most agents end up. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's where most of the demand is. There's much more demand in the residential housing space compared to other types of housing spaces, to other types of real estate. But there's a lot fewer agents. There's a lot less supply of agents to provide that real estate service in a lot of these other spaces. So we can do the residential route. That's one route. Again, working on behalf of buyers and sellers of their actual home. We could go down the commercial route. And the commercial route, that's probably depending on the market, that's probably right there behind residential for second in line of most demand, because there's a lot of commercial properties typically. This could be anything from office buildings to retail plazas to anything where basically businesses operate out of. So again, office buildings, retail plazas, and you think of that, there's not as many as those as there are housing, but there's a lot of those types of areas. And they'll also sometimes work in the residential side as well when we're dealing with multifamily housing with apartment buildings and things like that. Depending on the definition of commercial you're looking at, a lot of times that definition actually does include multifamily housing. So you could choose to work kind of in that range. And any of the stuff that I'm going through, guys, again, this is a live stream, so send in your questions about anything it is that you have. And if you've got some experience in this stuff, I'd love for you to share your experience with the newbies that might be tuning in today, trying to find out about this real estate game. So we talked about residential. We talked about commercial. Now let's talk about another category you have that you can go into. Now this one, there's a lot less of it comparatively speaking, and the sales don't happen as often as residential or commercial, and that's agricultural property. So agricultural property, farmland, there's a lot of that in Florida. There's a lot of it throughout the entire United States. We need places to create food. So there's a lot of farmlands and pastures and ranches, and not even just for the food, for let's say like horses and things like that, horse ranches. I knew an agent that actually got his start working in horse ranches. And I tell a lot of people that, and the first thing they ask me is like, so why did he pick horse ranches? I mean, is there really that many horse ranches that get sold every day? Why did he make that his specialty? So the reason why that was his specialty was he was actually a jockey. So he was a jockey. He knew everything about horses. Retired from his jockey career, got a real estate license, wanted to get into real estate, and he's like, hey, I want to sell horse ranches and horse farms because I know everything about horses. And it's a really complex topic. It's a really complex transaction, comparatively speaking to other transactions. The more you get into these specialized types of real estate, the commercial, the agricultural, and some of these other ones we're going to be talking about, the more specialization that's required for this here. So he got into the horse ranches, and now there's a lot less demand. There's a lot less horse ranches, first of all, and if you're an agent that specializes in horse ranches, you're kind of in a limited space. And he very further moved on from horse ranches when he wanted to move into bigger and better, but he did very well, especially as a new agent. And it wasn't so much about his real estate knowledge and his real estate expertise, because whichever one of these specialties it is that you choose, that's where you want to grab the information about. Now, any new agent, we all start from the same place. We all start just getting our license, and even if we've had experience before, maybe you've purchased homes before and bought and sold homes before. Maybe you're even an investor who professionally buys and sells homes. Working in the residential space or the commercial space or whatever that may be, extremely different. And again, if you guys have questions on this stuff here, this is live. I want to help you guys get a better understanding and a better gauge on what it's like to have a career in real estate. So what questions you have, send them in to me, whether it's about what the work schedule looks like, what type of appointments it is that you're doing, or anything like that. Send those in. I've got both comments loaded up of the YouTube, the Facebook, our Success Center, all of that on here. So send those in to us. So going back to the horse ranch story. So he's working in this horse ranch space. Now, it is a limited space. There's only so many people that have horse ranches, let alone the people that actually want to sell their horse ranches. So when you get into these specializations, it now becomes more about your knowledge of the area it is you're specializing in. And not even just the transfer of property, because a lot of that is going to carry over across these different types of specializations. There's some differences they're going to have when you're selling, say, a business versus selling a home. Absolutely some differences here, but the transfer of the real estate, not really much that's going to be too different regarding that. Where the difference makes is having the knowledge about that product it is that you're selling to effectively market that product to the public to try to get the highest sale. Or maybe you're working on the buying side of this here. And if you're working as a buyer's agent, for especially in one of these specialized types of properties, or maybe you're doing in the commercial side of this, maybe you're doing some sort of commercial lease. This is another thing you could do, all with your real estate license. So if you're, let's say, a buyer's agent or working for a potential tenant that wants to lease out some space, that client is going to lean on you for your information, not just on the transfer of this and the contracts and things like that. That's an expectation. They already expect you to be able to do that. They expect any real estate agent or professional it is that they go to be able to handle the contracts and those little things that are kind of the non-negotiables. You always have to have that. You always have these contracts whenever a property is leased or sold or anything like that. So they expect you. They're not going to say, oh, well, you know a contract? Okay, great. You're the best agent out there. No. It's about what you know on top of that. In a buyer's agent, they're going to rely on you heavily for your information about the particular product it is that you're showing them, the particular housing. In a residential house, they're going to lean on you for some of this information. And this is going to vary based on the buyer it is that you're working for. But if you don't know anything about houses, and I'm not even talking about knowing like technical stuff or anything like that. I'm talking like HGTV knowledge, like the stuff that relates to people. Your technical knowledge about the more technicalities, that's not going to get somebody excited about wanting to buy a home. It's maybe the possibilities of what that home could look like for them. Or maybe you're working in the commercial space, the possibilities of what this particular space can do for the business, how much traffic it expose that business to. So it all comes down to you're meeting that homeowner's need, and they don't usually care about the technicalities, even if they have a mindset and a personality type that says, hey, I want details for everything it is that I do. I'm a details person. They probably don't care about what type of roofing struts or anything like that. You don't need to know that stuff. And it's not your job to know everything that's wrong with the property. That's where the inspector comes in. And we cover this in the course, in the pre-licensing course, where we talk about, yes, it is your job to relay any information that you know of. So if you know there's an issue with something with the property, then you have to tell that information. But it's not your job necessarily to know the issues and the problems that are with the house. If you don't know of anything, you don't want to say that there's no issues, but you could absolutely have an inspector come in, take a look at the property, and this is at the buyer's expense. So it's not even like you're paying for it. You're just there to recommend, hey, let's get an inspector in here. It's going to cost a little bit of money to have the inspection done. It's going to cost a little bit more for a really good inspector with a good inspection, but it's absolutely going to be worth it if you guys are serious about buying this house, just to make sure there's not going to be any sort of things hiding in this house that we don't want to find, that we don't know about yet. So always keep that in mind, that you don't have to know everything about the physical property itself. And this goes across the board. Now, the more information it is that you have and possess, the better. If they do ask you a question about some sort of technicality, that's absolutely going to make you look like a more knowledgeable professional if you have an answer to that. But you never want to misrepresent the information because you're not the inspector. Now, going back to what it is, the information it is that they want when they're looking at a house. They want you to be able to point out the things or help them track down the properties that really meet their lifestyle of what it is that they're looking for in a property. when you're able to tie that together, and this makes it more so where you're just a person helping a person. That's all. You're not a salesperson. You're not a contractor. You're not constructing the house. You're just saying, hey, this looks like a nice house. I think this house would be nice for you guys. Now, you get into these more specialized areas like commercial or industrial or agricultural or any sort of special purpose properties or businesses. That's where they're going to want a little bit more information. But in the residential side, where most agents end up going, yes, you need to learn the technical stuff, but that's what the course is for. That's what the pre-licensing course is for. That's what your broker is there for. That's one of the things that they're there to help you out and get you through these first couple transactions to make sure you know what all these nuts and bolts kind of look like. So we got a question coming in from Beth Teller. I guess it's not really a question, but thanks for commenting in, Beth. She says, unfortunately signed up with another school, and I completely understand that. I mean, we are a little bit more expensive for some of our classes just because we're better. Plain and simple. But I'm glad that you're enjoying the videos. And if the price has been holding any of you guys back about signing up for our pre-licensing course, probably should have mentioned this already, but we're actually running a huge sale this weekend for Labor Day on our online course. And we just launched this brand new online licensing course back in October. And it's really, it's almost a year now we've had this course live now that I think about it. Time just flies by like that. But the students that have been enrolled in this online licensing course, they've had a much better success rate than our previous course. It's interactive, it's engaging. It was millions of dollars was spent developing this course to make sure that adult learners are able to take away information from that and be able to retain that information. So if you haven't signed up for the course yet, this should be your sign right here. It's 33% off of what our normal price is. Normally it's like $249 for the online course. Right now it's $167. So if you haven't signed up for the online course, get it in there and sign up for it. And even if you took the course with another school, you can still sign up for our course if you want to go through and relearn that information, although it's not required for that. So definitely check that out. We're going to take a quick commercial break here. So stick with us. If you guys have questions on any of this stuff, I want to help you guys out and help you get an understanding, whether it's you just got your license, you're thinking about getting your license, you're thinking of taking advantage of that online sale it is that we're running this weekend. I want to answer your guys' questions. I've been in the real estate industry since 2007, so I've got a lot of experience under my belt, and I've been involved in all kinds of different transactions, not just residential, not just commercial, all different types of transactions, and I'm constantly trying to learn more about the real estate industry. So let me share that information with you, but tell me what information it is that you want me to share with you. Send it in the chats, in the questions. I've got YouTube and Facebook loaded up live right here, right now, so send in those questions while we're on break. We're going to be back in about 2 minutes. Stick with us. Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Christma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate, and this is something we're trying a little bit different this week. We're making it a Q&A, taking my 10 plus years of experience in the real estate industry and helping give that to you guys and get a better understanding of what it's like, whether you're new to real estate and any of you guys that are experienced, throwing some of that information back here to help some of these people that are brand new out. I just want to answer Beth's question real quick here. So yeah, again, thanks for tuning in. And yeah, her husband going to take the online course, so congrats on that. It's a huge sale that we do right now, and we don't really do sales that often on it. So it's definitely a no-brainer right now. It's a huge price. It's $167 for the online course, and it's the same online course that you would get normally from us, and it's a really great course. The question is about how it works, basically, getting the online course. So yeah, that's a good question. Kind of starting your real estate career, what does that look like? So you could do one of the classroom courses. You go through the classroom course and you take the end of course exam, or you could do an online course. And we have a lot more students kind of transitioning into the online courses now, not just for their pre-licensing course to get their license, but there's also requirements every couple years after you have your license to renew your license, to keep you up to date, to keep you learning new information. And that's a requirement by the Florida Real Estate Commission to keep your license active. So a lot of that stuff as well. We have a lot of people taking the online courses, and our online course, we set them up to be on-demand, self-paced, to basically allow you to go in there when it is that you could work on it. We give you a year to complete the course. We don't recommend taking that long, but we understand things come up, so it's okay if you want to take a little bit longer to go through the course, but try to get it done quicker the better. We have some people that go through this and get the course done in like a week and just fly through the online course material. And what's good about that is it keeps a lot of the information fresh. Now, that's definitely a strenuous, it's just like getting into the real estate industry. You go in and go 100% in and just spend all of your waking hours trying to push your real estate career forward, or maybe you're starting off part-time with this. So kind of tying into the second part of Beth's question here, can you start in real estate part-time? Absolutely. We see most of our students starting in real estate part-time, and if we get the question of, hey, should I start this full-time or should I start this part-time? Our default answer, and this is going to vary based on the particular situation, is yeah, you should start part-time in the real estate industry, because when you're starting part-time in the real estate industry, what that allows is for you to kind of almost dip your feet in the water, and it allows you to kind of get in there a little bit more, a little bit easier entry into the real estate industry. You could definitely do it full-time and just jump in there and completely go in. But with that, it can be a little bit much. It can be a little bit overwhelming. And what's also great about being the part-time, and again, it depends on the individual, what you're looking for out of this in your particular situation. And if you want us to help you counsel through this, give us a call. We've got advisors standing by that are trained by me, so they should have some pretty good answers for these questions it is that you ask on, if they want some particular on your situation with this here. But starting part-time, it allows you to leverage your existing sphere of influence, your existing circles, your coworkers, the people it is that you already have there. So not only are you getting stability, but you also have this potential base of clients, because everyone needs a place to live, especially when you're working in the residential side. Now, you get into these more specializations, that's maybe where it's going to take a little bit more work, and that maybe won't be a benefit there of leveraging that sphere of influence there. But what's great about this, and we get a lot of people that stay in real estate part-time. They just want to do real estate part-time. They're happy with their day job, but they know that they're not going to get rich with their day job, and they just want to be able to get some extra money coming in on the side, whether it's so they want to pay for vacations or be able to get a bigger house, or whatever the reason may be for that. So the real estate industry overall is very flexible. So got another question coming in here from Logan. So Logan's asking, how much can you make in real estate? So question of how much money you can make in real estate. This is another one. Again, there's a lot of flexibility. You could go into real estate, and I'll be honest with you, you could go in there and make no money, or you could go in there and make millions. Really, that part comes down to your particular situation. Yes, you might be able to get a little bit lucky and get a little bit higher up in that there, but for the most part, luck doesn't have anything to do with it. What has to do with it, whether you're just getting your real estate license and not doing anything, or you're doing getting your real estate license and making millions of dollars a year in commission. Not selling millions of dollars a year in housing. That doesn't take a lot. You could sell $1 million in houses by selling 4 $250,000 houses, which I mean, there's agents that are doing that in a couple of days' time of having 4 closings on properties at around $250,000. There's a lot of opportunity out there for that. But now the difference maker for that of whether you're the person making no money or you're the person making millions of dollars a year, what is it that makes a difference? It's really not just one thing. If I were to try to boil it down to one thing, it would be, and there's a lot of other stuff, I want to preface this, there's a lot of other things that factor into this, but one of the one things that's going to probably take you the furthest in your real estate industry is you're constantly struggling to push yourself further, to make yourself better. Because let's say you're making $100,000 a year in real estate. And I'm sure $100,000 a year in real estate, even if you're working in it full time, I'm sure there's people on here that sounds appealing to you. That you're like, yeah, I'd love to be making $100,000 a year working in real estate. And there's a lot of agents making way more than that, making $500,000, $800,000, over $1 million a year. Sometimes multi-million dollars a year in the real estate industry. And that's on the actual selling side, let alone whether they're doing investments or anything like that. So actually getting that much money coming in commission. So now, how do you push yourself further? Well, the thing is, you don't want to get complacent at that $100,000 level. Yeah, $100,000 sounds really nice, but does $200,000 sound better? Yeah. Does $500,000 sound better? Yeah. Does $1 million sound better? But now, how much better is it? Because especially the more it is that you're leveling up, the more it is that you're coming up and increasing the income it is that you're obtaining through commissions and whatnot, you're going to find out that there's a lot of things that you could always be doing better. And that goes back to, again, that one thing that I would say would be the differentiator that ultimately helps determine how much money it is that you're making. Whether it's you're just making a couple $1,000s a year, and maybe that's just because you're doing it part-time, you're only selling a few houses a year, and that's really all you care about, you just want some extra money coming in. It really comes down to what it is that you want. So that's number one, figuring out what it is that you want. Is the $100,000, is that really going to be what satisfies your need? Is that going to be really what helps you make your life better? Are you going to be happy with $100,000, or is that going to cause you to have more bills, and are you going to not be happy with $100,000? Okay, well then maybe you don't set the goal at $100,000. And yeah, that sounds like a lot of money, but again, there's a lot of agents that are making significantly more than that, and it's absolutely possible, especially the Tampa Bay area. We've had significant growth in the Tampa Bay area now, and it's been a lot more stable growth than what has gone on in the past. The past 10 years ago when we had the whole mortgage crisis, and I know that's a big fear with a lot of people when they're thinking about this, is like, oh, well, what happens if the market bottoms out on us? What happens if there's another 2008? What happens if there's another recession? Am I gonna be like out on sleeping homeless? Am I going to be living out of my car if there's one of these crashes, one of these things that go up and down? And there's a lot of agents that survived past that whole kind of recessionary period. And just in case you're worried about this, I'm going to talk about this recessionary period and how these agents survived. There were a lot of agents that, in a way, but what happened was that they didn't adapt. It's not that there's not real estate transactions going on when we have these recessions, when we have these ups and downs in the market. And there's always ups and downs. They're usually not as severe as what we had 10 years ago. That was one of the worst ones, comparatively speaking. But there's always these ups and downs of the real estate industry, especially in Tampa. Tampa was really hard hit. But now what makes the growth going on in Tampa right now so stable and so much better than the growth it was that we had back in the early 2000s? So the early 2000s, it really wasn't the housing market growing. It really wasn't the housing values going up. There was one house that I'd helped an investor sell, and this was a few years back, and it was a house that we ended up selling for $50,000. In 2006, that same house that we sold for $50,000, and it was actually in better shape when we sold it for $50,000, but in 2006, it sold for $250,000. So what was driving that price to go up so much higher, that value? So one of the advantages to investing in real estate and purchasing real estate and owning real estate is that it usually stays above inflation. Now, you'll have these price corrections and these market cycles and all this stuff going on that might change this somehow. But ultimately, when we have these ups and downs, when we have these peaks and valleys, a lot of what's driving that is the inflation. So the inflation of housing, the inflation of the dollar, that's what was causing the housing prices to go up and to rise. And that's one of the things that really kind of messed everything up in real estate. And Tampa was one of the ones that was pretty hard hit on that. So now the reason why the growth we have right now is so much more stable and so much more reassuring, and why I can feel confident saying, yeah, the next few years they're going to be, we've got a lot more growth to come with that. And that's just due to so much that's on the books in Tampa. And what happens? So one of the things that makes you a successful agent, another thing, because there's a lot of things. There's no just one thing that makes you a successful agent. There's a lot of different factors that come into play if you want to be a successful agent. But one of those things is having local information, local knowledge, local expertise, knowing what's going on in your particular neighborhood. Not just in the neighborhood that you're farming, but maybe the entire city, the entire surrounding metropolitan area. Knowing all that stuff that's going on, because what that does is that has ripple effects out. There's a lot of stuff going on in Channelside, aka Water Street, in case you're not familiar with that name yet. That's the new name that they have for Channelside down in downtown Tampa. And this is the multi-billion-dollar development that's backed by people like the owner of the Lightning, Jeff Vinik, the founder of Microsoft, Bill Gates, and a lot of other high-level people that are investing billions of dollars in the Tampa Bay area. And now these are people that They don't like losing money. Even as rich as Bill Gates is and as much money as he has, they don't like losing money. They don't like having a bad investment. It's not being scared of the money going away. It's about losing. So it's like a game almost when you get to that level there. So there's these people that are betting on Tampa. And there's a lot of development going on. There's a lot of ripple effects with that. But what happens when we have Tampa being put in the national spotlight? Again, knowing what's going on locally in your neighborhood is going to help you be a better agent. But what that's doing is that's attracting investors, that's attracting companies, that's attracting jobs to the Tampa Bay area. And that's one of the things that was a missing component in the 2008 crisis that we had, was that there wasn't the jobs there. There wasn't jobs causing the economy to boom. It wasn't creation of jobs, it was inflation of the dollar. Because what happens is the mortgage companies can, and they can still do this to a certain extent, although it's a lot more regulated today, but the money was being created out of thin air when the money shouldn't be, especially depending on the applicants. There's a lot of different factors that tied into that there. But just in case this seems too gloom and doom for you and you're worried, oh, well, there's all this bad stuff here. That stuff, just in case you think that's an issue, that's very, very unlikely to happen at this point in time. The reason why, we were just recently ranked as the #1 housing market in America, the #1 healthiest housing market in America, specifically healthiest housing market. So what that means is that the growth that we're experiencing right now is healthy growth. It's growth that won't be quickly undone. And a lot of that comes down to the jobs that we have moving to the Tampa Bay area, the general preference that people have for the Tampa Bay area, all these factors combining together, ultimately making us the healthiest housing market in the country. So even if there is another recession, not if there is, when there is another recession, and depending on how severe it may be, whether that's 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, you could weather that storm. There's still real estate transactions going on, but Tampa being the #1 healthiest housing market is going to be one of the least impacted by that. So that kind of ties in with question about the market that we got there. So we've got a question, or really more so a comment from Josh Smith. So thanks for sharing that with us. Got to build a team if you're over $180,000, and so that's another thing. So another question that we get, and this is something that we're seeing a lot more recently of the team concept of these groups of real estate professionals, and this isn't a brokerage. This isn't a brokerage with its own agents where they're all working closely together. That's how it used to be structured back in the days where the broker was king. The broker's still kind of king to today, at least by what the law requires on that. Again, they have final say on this stuff here. But the teams are basically a brokerage within a brokerage. So if you're ultimately, and what this is good for you, so if you, like going back to what we were talking about earlier about how much money it is that you can make, if you're wanting to get, according to Josh Smith here, which sounds like an accurate number here, over $180,000. So you want to get above that $180,000 mark, or maybe under $200,000 over, or maybe you're shooting for $1 million. You want to make $1 million in a year. Yeah, you want to have a team of people around you, because you might be able to crank out $100,000, and that's why I like to use that example, because $100,000, that's a good point. And if you're really doing well as an agent and you really got everything dialed in, you could probably get up to $150,000 or like Josh is saying here, $180,000. And you could live a pretty comfortable life at $180,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year. But now how do you get to be even more comfortable, for even more freedom, for even more luxuries, for all these other things it is that you may want in your life? And with that, you want to surround yourself with the right people. So we'll talk a little bit more about the team building because we could go deep on this concept here. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Again, we're live here. I want to know what questions it is that you have about working in real estate, what it's like in the real estate industry. So send those in the comments. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Chrisma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
I have done for my love.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Chrisman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're doing something a little bit different this week. We're doing kind of like a Q&A session of what questions you guys have about starting a career in real estate. And just in case you didn't catch that already, we've got a huge Labor Day sale going on this weekend. Until Monday, we've got our online course a third of the price off. It's $167. It's a huge savings. It's the best price we've ever offered our online course for. So if you've been thinking about starting a real estate career, and maybe it's the money that's holding you back, maybe it's just, we want to help make that a little bit easier for you. So this weekend, go on to tampaschool.com. You'll see banners everywhere and all kinds of stuff like that. Just click on there. As long as you register before midnight on Labor Day, you'll be able to get that online course for $167. And we call this our revolutionary online licensing course because we really revolutionized the online course platform. It's been working really well since we launched it back in October. We've been in there tweaking it, updating it, making it even better, but I think you guys are really going to like it. All the students we've had taking this before have had really great results with it, and they really like it. So make sure you check that out if you're interested in getting your real estate license. If you've still got some questions about getting your real estate license, or maybe what that process looks like, or maybe what to expect once it is that you have your license, that's what we're here to talk about today. So we've talked about the whole kind of broker situations. And if you guys maybe have some more questions on top of this stuff here, again, send it in the chat, send it in the comments here so I could answer those here live on the air. If you're watching the recording on this, because I know we get a lot of views after the fact with the recordings, just give us a call. The phone number's right below. We're always available to answer you guys' questions of whatever it may be. There's no stupid question. There's questions we get a lot, but that's not because they're stupid questions. That's because they're good questions. So give us your questions. Send it in the chat here. We've still got some good time. We got maybe about 15 minutes or so of still questions we could answer here live on the air. So David Cribbs asking, do you know the stats on how many new agents each month or year in Tampa and the state? Oh, I do have that stat somewhere, but I don't know it off of the top of my head. But there's a lot of people out there getting their real estate license. There's a lot of people breaking into the real estate industry. We're turning people away from our classroom courses. That's why we've been heavily investing in our online courses and expanding our classroom courses to more areas, just because there's a lot of people that are interested in starting the real estate career. But now let's go back to, okay, now what's going to ultimately make you successful? What's going to really kind of push you over the edge for the success? Josh Smith was talking before we went on break here, says you got to build a team if you're over $180,000. So when you get above that certain point, or when you hit your cap, and maybe you cap out at a lower point than $180,000, maybe you cap out $150,000, or a lot of agents hit that brick wall at $100,000. And whether that's just a mental cap, or it's just literally that you don't have enough hours in your day, and maybe in your market, maybe you have a lower average housing price, and that lower average housing price is going to cause you to have to do more transactions to get property sold, so, and to have that same amount of income there. So ultimately, you need to start leveraging other people. And this is what's really interesting, because this is now how you could turn your real estate career into a real estate business. And really kind of they're one and the same, those two words, career and business. Ultimately, who it is that you're working for is your clients. And it's just, if the question now, if you have a broker or a manager or a supervisor or in any other type of field where you have somebody that's kind of in between, that's maybe kind of pushing that back. And hey, look, maybe you don't like the idea of even having any sort of broker. Maybe you want to be the king of your real estate platform. Take the broker licensing course. You can get your broker license. You just have to have 2 years of experience working under a broker. So you get 2 years in under a broker. Now you can go out and actually become a broker yourself, open your own office, hire your own agents. But let's say you like that idea of maybe being a broker. You like that idea of kind of growing your real estate career into a business, and like kind of really hitting those higher numbers of that there. That's where you start incorporating other people with this here. And this is where a lot of agents maybe get stuck at that 100,000, or maybe a little above that, a little short of that, somewhere in that range there where they can't push themselves any further. And what ultimately happens is they're burnt out, they're doing everything it is that they can, and what happens is they're usually doing a lot of stuff on their own. The more you could leverage other people to help you grow your business, and what could happen is if you help them accomplish their goals, they'll help you accomplish your goals. So you have that give and take there. And you have these other people in here. So let's say you're making $100,000, just for easy numbers. Maybe it's 150, maybe it's 180. Let's say you're at $100,000 and you've hit your breaking point. You can't increase any further beyond that. So when you're at that point, at that $100,000, let's say that $100,000 is what you're taking home, and maybe before expenses that you have maybe $130,000, $140,000 coming in, and you're already upset about all those expenses you have coming in. So what you want to think about, and this is how you have to change your mindset, and this is a different type of mindset from getting to that first $100,000 to maybe now getting to $1 million, or even getting to $500,000. That's a different mindset just to get to that point. So the mindset you have to shift now is it's not how much money it is that you could save in expenses, it's how much more income you could generate. How much more gross commission can you bring in? Yes, your expenses are going to go up. The more income it is, you're going to hit that point where you can't get any higher with your current expenses, but now you start factoring in some more expenses, and then that's where you can get into these higher numbers, the $250,000, the $500,000, the $1 million. And one of the biggest expenses is people. Now, there's a lot of technology now where you could leverage this technology where you don't necessarily need the people, where you don't need actual persons doing all these things. There's so many things that can be automated and done electronically by computers for a much lower rate than what it would cost to have a person manually doing these things. So that automatically makes it so much easier to kind of grow your real estate business, but you're still going to need people. There's still only so many houses you could show, only so many listing appointments it is that you could go on, only so many of these different tasks that are involved in this real estate process that's ultimately going to get you to that number. So that's where you have to start leveraging other people, start surrounding yourself with other people that want to grow and develop themselves and ultimately hit those higher numbers. And what happens? You start surrounding yourself with this team of people, and maybe you have one person that specializes in your showings and your buyer appointments, and one person that specializes in your sellers and your listing appointments. And you're saying, well, what do I do out of all this here? Your job is to make sure that those buyers agents and those sellers agents are constantly improving themselves and making themselves better, and overall growing the brand, growing the business, growing that to be a little bit higher. And now, not everybody wants that out of a career in real estate, and that's okay. Real estate isn't judgmental. There's a lot of agents that go out there that just make a couple $1,000s, and they're happy with that because, again, maybe they're just doing it part-time. Maybe they just want some extra vacations, or they want to put some extra money away for savings for retirement, or whatever it may be. There's a lot of different reasons you might be getting your real estate license, and the industry being that even when you're registered under a broker, you're just an independent contractor, the broker. So that broker isn't there to tell you when it is that you work or how much you have to work or anything like that. That's totally up to you of how much time it is that you want to put in and how much time it is that you want to invest in this here. Whether it's you want to jump in, completely submerge yourself in this here, or maybe just kind of take it easy when you're first getting started on this. We're going to take another quick commercial break. But while we're on break here, again, this is live. Send in your questions. Let me know what it is that I can help answer for you guys here. Kim A, I see your question coming in on YouTube. I'm going to talk about that after this short commercial break, so stick with us. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes. Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Christma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
For my love.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, what is going on Facebook? What's going on YouTube? We're back here on State of Real Estate. Every Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time, we come to you to help you grow, develop, jumpstart your real estate business. And this week we're doing something a little bit different, kind of almost like a community Q&A type of session here to help you guys, our viewers, really understand the real estate industry in a better light here. I've got a lot of experience in the real estate industry. I've been in the real estate industry for over 10 years. We've got a lot of people tuning in here that have experience that they've shared on here. Question before we went on break that I said we would answer here. Kim A, I'm really not another question on this. So again, this and if you guys don't want to have a question, if you just want to stop in and say hi, I'll give you a shout out on here. I definitely appreciate you tuning in and watching. Kim wants to take advantage of the Labor Day sale. How do you go and do that? TampaSchool.com. TampaSchoolOfRealEstate.com. Google Tampa School of Real Estate. We've got 1,001 different ways you could find us. Call the phone number 813-928-0106. You could sign up for our revolutionary online licensing course platform. Get it done anytime, any place, within a year of the date it is that you registered. So don't worry, it's not where you have to fit a certain schedule. It's all on demand and based on your schedule. Go to TampaSchool.com. You could sign up for that. As long as you do it before Labor Day ends, you could get a really great deal on that course. It's now only $167 instead of the normal $249, so make sure you take advantage of that. So let's talk about maybe a couple of things that when you're first starting out. So when you're first starting out with your real estate career, what it is that you're going to do. You just got your license. Okay, now what? So you'd pass your online licensing course, and you'll go take your state exam. And so Kim's got a question coming in here. How do you find a broker? It's like we're in tune on the same like wavelengths here, because this is kind of right where I was going into. You go get your online course, you pass that, you take your state exam, you pass that, you've now got a real estate license. But this is called an inactive real estate license. So an inactive real estate license really is just like not having a real estate license. What you need to do is make that license active. And how you make that license active is you either register your license with a broker, which is what most people do, or also an owner-developer. You could either register with a broker or an developer. And so Kim's question is, how do you find a broker? How do you choose a broker? And what ultimately happens is these brokers are going to be finding you, especially the ones that are geared towards new agents. And if you don't like any of the ones that are finding you, we've got a whole network of brokers that work specifically with new agents. So we could absolutely help you get through that process as well. If there's one thing that you'll find with our school compared to really almost any other business out there, I mean, we care about our students. I mean, our business is based on the success of our students, because again, you'll have to take required courses in the next few years after this. So we want you guys to be successful, not only so you come back and take these required courses from us, but also so you're going to want to tell your friends and family about your exciting new career and how well it is that you're doing, because they maybe want to get their real estate license. And hello, that's where we're here to help you guys out with. So it's a win-win. We help you guys out, and we just ask that you help us as well, but just by remembering who it is that we are. But we'll make that real easy, because we make ourselves very hard to forget. That's why we do these live streams every Friday here. But again, that's all to help you guys out as well. So going back to choosing the broker. And again, for any of you guys that have something maybe a little bit more particular, a little bit more specific, maybe you don't want to say it live on the air here in the question, call us. We have our advisor standing by, 813-928-0106. Again, 813-928-0106. And you can have a free confidential consultation about your start in a real estate career. But now, choosing a broker. So the brokers are going to be coming to find you. But now the question is, okay, well, which one do I pick? So there's a lot of different brokers that are out there. Now, typically the ones that are going to be reaching out to you, because what happens is once you get your license, that information becomes public records. Really, when you apply for your license, that's in the public records that you have requested a real estate license. And these brokers could pull that information, and they could get your phone number, they could get your email, they could get all this information and your addresses, they'll mail you stuff, and they'll be reaching out to you. But now, how do you choose which broker it is that you want to work with, which broker it is that's going to help take your business to the next level? And what I recommend is doing kind of a self-reflective type of assessment of yourself and your business and what it is that you're looking to gain from the real estate industry. And what you want to find is a broker that fits into those missing pieces of your puzzle. You start laying out these pieces. Okay, I want to do this. I want to work with this type of home buyer. I want to have this many sales. I want to have this. You got to know what it is that you want out of this, because if you don't know what it is that you want, your broker's not going to know. If you know what it is that you want out of the real estate industry, that's where you can start talking and interviewing some of these brokers and getting a bearing on basically what it would be like and how they could help you and what it's going to cost for their help. And there's a lot of different brokers out there. There's the brokers that operate on a 100% structure, where basically you get 100% of your commission and you just pay a small monthly fee usually to them to basically have your license active with that broker. And if you still don't like that, if you want every last penny out of that there, then you could go open your own brokerage after 2 years and then just keep all the money for yourself. But that's not usually a good fit for new agents. And you're saying, John, what do you mean? I've got to give up money? I've got to cut somebody in on my commission? And the answer is yes. Until you know what it is that you're doing and you have a complete comprehension, you could go through a pre-licensing course 100 times and take a million other types of trainings that are out there. You're still going to want some personalized one-on-one attention to help get you through those first couple of transactions. So that's where we have what's called a commission split. And the way these commission splits work basically is, say you get $10,000 worth of commission coming in, and if it's a 20% split or an 80% split, depending on what side it is we're talking about here, meaning 80% going to the agent, 20% going to the broker, that means out of that $10,000, 80% of that, $8,000 would go to the agent, 20% of that, $2,000 would go to the broker. and you get a check for that 80%. There's no taxes taken out of that. You do have to pay taxes still, but that's where you want to get with a good accountant. Again, now leverage another person to be. Again, you want to leverage people that are experts in what it is that they do. You can only be really an expert in just a handful of things. You can't be an expert in everything. Don't try to be an expert in accounting when you're trying to be an expert in real estate. Hire an accountant it's an expert in accounting that could save you money on your taxes, because there's a lot of things you could do, from incorporating yourself to certain types of expenses and the way it is that you're running all of those. So you want to have a good accountant that could manage that part of this for you, because that could get very complicated. So again, just like you would choose maybe the accountant, you'd interview a couple different accountants and find which one would work best for your scenario. You'll interview some brokers and find which one's going to help you achieve your goals there, so when they could help you get that $8,000 check, or maybe it's a 90% split, the $9,000 check, or maybe it's even lower. Maybe it's a 50-50 where it's an even split between the amount going to the broker and the amount going to the agent, where you're getting $5,000, the broker's getting $5,000. But now the question is, what is it that you're getting out of that, whatever, it's a monthly fee that you're paying for, because there's some with structured monthly fees, there's some that are structured where they just have a commission split type of situation. And with the commission split situation, that's usually a better fit for new agents, because with a 100% broker, the broker may be helpful. There's typically very limited service with a 100% broker where you're pretty much on your own, and the broker's just there for the legal purpose and legalities and legal responsibilities of having a broker there. But now over on the split side, they're a little bit more invested in your sales, in actually you making money. Because right from the get-go, as soon as you join with this broker, you're going to be taking that broker's time. You're going to be taking time from that broker's people, from their administrative staff, from their receptionists, from their trainers, from their managers, from the people that broker has in place to help their agents be successful. So the minute you get in there, you're basically, they start investing in you. And what they want is a return on their investment. They're investing in you so that you could go out there, sell a house, or help somebody sell their house, and then they're able to get that reward, to get that percentage. It's more lucrative typically for the broker on that split level than where if you're just having an agent paying a small monthly fee. But with that split there, they have a vested interest in you. They want you to be successful. They want you to sell homes. They want you to ultimately be the best agent it is that you can do. Another question coming in from Kim. 20% average for a broker. Yeah, I would say so, especially with so many 100% situations that are out there for it. That number used to be a lot lower. As the years have progressed and as the brokers become less necessary, they're still always required by law unless you have a broker license yourself. It used to be where that 50-50 split, that was the average. But that was a long time ago. And the reason why the brokers charged so much more was because you got so much more out of the broker, because we didn't have the laptops that could do everything for you, or the printers that are super cheap for printing stuff. Just think of the laptop for a second here. Access to the MLS used to be a book that you'd have to go through and flip through to see the properties available, and those books weren't cheap, and you had to buy them about every week or two to have up-to-date information of what's still out there in the market. So that was the big kind of thing for the brokers, like, oh, well, we have the most up-to-date listing books, and we have this, and we have that, and we do this, and you can't really do much for yourself because there's not this technology thing yet, so we do this stuff for you, and we charge you half of your commission plus this much money that you had to pay, and so on and so forth. But that's not what we're like today. That's not the climate it is that we're in with the broker-agent relationship today. In the broker-agent relationship that we have today, this is going to be more so where it's the broker knows that you could do a lot on your own. And they expect you, in most cases. There are still those 50% brokers where they'll basically do a lot of the stuff and basically kind of spoon feed you. But it's very limited, because you could still make a good amount of money in one of those situations, but the broker is also making a good amount of money with that. So yeah, going back to your question for what we're at right now, yeah, 20%, that's probably about what the average is, I would say. That's not an official statistic, so I might be wrong on that. Maybe it's 25%, maybe it's 15%, who knows what that number really is. But from what I've seen out there, especially factoring in the experienced agents that are on a 100% commission plan, and these commissions are typically negotiable. The broker might not negotiate it frustrated if you're a new agent because they know you're gonna to have to need help, and they're counting on that commission splits to make money off of helping you. Because the broker, they're in business just like you're in business. You're in business to make money. The broker's also in business to make money. And two ways the broker could make money. The broker could make money off of selling real estate themselves, but now they're a competing broker. And it's not so bad that they're competing with you, because you're probably not going to be competing in the same transactions. There's so much business out there in the real estate industry that broker's probably not going to be directly competing with you. But when you need help and when you need support of that broker being a competing broker shows that their priority is their own sales and not growing the agents within their brokerage. So that's typically, it can be a good fit if there's going to be like maybe some sort of personal mentorship of that broker. But overall, when you're in a larger brokerage, that broker really has one job, and that's that growing that brokerage higher, and that's accomplished really in two ways: one, more agents, or two, making those agents better. So really, you want to try to find a hybrid of both of those, because the more growth that exists out there, the better that's ultimately going to be for you. And Kim's also asking about a mentor fee. So a mentor fee type of thing, there could be something where, and that's really what that brokerage split is at some level. And that's why, again, you want to interview the brokers. You want to find out what it is that you're getting from the broker in exchange for whatever it is that they're charging you, whether that's a monthly fee or a commission split or whatever it is that they're charging you to basically help you. What help is it that you're getting? What technologies is it that you're getting? What services is it that you're getting? Are you going to have to put your own signs out? Are you going to have to pay for your own copies? Are you going to have to pay for your own website? Or are you having to pay for business cards? You could take on these expenses on your own, where you don't have to have a broker that pays for them. You could usually get a higher commission split. But if you want a broker that pays for these things, and on top of that they still want to make money, then you're going to have a larger commission split where the broker takes a larger share out of that. But that's why I definitely recommend, as a new agent, that you want some sort of commission split. You don't want to be on 100% plan. You could go into that. There's nothing legally stopping you from that, but it's probably not going to be best for your success. I have seen some agents do it, but it's very difficult to kind of just jump in there completely on your own. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and the reason why I found so much success in real estate, comparatively speaking, with the other industries, it was that I was starting businesses was because there's a network of people. There's people that, and it's a very cooperative. The whole nature of the real estate industry is a cooperative real estate industry. So we're all here to help each other. And don't be surprised if there's another agent in your office who's got no vested interest in you, who's not making any money off of you, that just wants to lend a helping hand and help see you succeed. So that goes on so much in the real estate industry. So we're just about out of time for today. If you guys still have questions on this, if you're watching the recording and you have questions, call us at the number below, 813-928-0106. You can also go to tampaschool.com. We've got live chat on our website. You can go on there and we could actually chat with you live on tampaschool.com. We want to help you guys, not just help you go through the course, but help you start a successful career in real estate. Our advisors are standing by to assist you in any way they can and answer any questions it is that you have. So definitely make full use of them, even if you're not a student with us. Ask them whatever questions it is that is maybe a concern to you. Or, like I said, we're also live every week. Every Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time, we do State of Real Estate. Every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time, we do Ask the Instructor. We do these hour-long webinar, podcast, show, whatever it is that you want to call it, live stream. We do them every week, and we do this to help our students become the best that they could be, not just going through the course, but also in the real estate industry. So make sure you're tuning in, make sure you're subscribed. If you guys are thinking about starting your real estate career, again, we've got that special going on with our Labor Day sale right now. It's only $167 for our online course. It's the best price we've ever offered our online course for, and we know that it's good. We know that's going to help you guys out in starting your career in real estate. So go to tampaschool.com if you want to sign up for that right now. But other than that, that's all I've got for you guys this week. Tune in next week. Hope to see you then. But until then, have a good Labor Day weekend. Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Chrisma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
I have done for my love.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate.